What's up guys? These are the new Specialized S-Works Turbo Tubeless Ready tires, and I'm on a mission to find out if these are better than the Continental Grand Prix 5000 tubeless tires, a tire that I put tens of thousands of miles on between multiple bikes and wheel sets. In this video, I'll run through some high-level specs as well as my initial impressions from riding these tires. I'll be the first to admit that the Grand Prix 5000 tubeless tires are a pretty high bar to measure against. But on paper, these tires look comparable. Both the turbos and the GP5000 tubeless tires come in at the exact same stated weight. For a set of 28s, you're looking at 280 grams per tire, and for a set of 30mm tires, which I'm running, you're looking at 300 grams per tire. The TPI on both of these tires is on par for what you'd expect from a high-end road race tire. The turbos come in at 120 TPI, and the Continentals are listed as 2/220, which, as I understand in Continental terms, they take the two layers at 110 each to equal 220, so it's essentially 110 TPI. This might be total blasphemy, but I've decided to mount these on a set of Enve 45 ARs on the Enve Melee, which means that these tires are hookless compatible, at least according to Specialized. If you go on the Enve website, you won't find these listed under the hookless compatible or recommended tires, and I'm sure they'll eventually find their way onto there as soon as Enve gets a chance to test them in-house. On the 4.5s with an internal width of 25mm, these tires measure out to a 31mm, so fairly true to size. Mounting and inflation were simple and easy, so easy in fact that I was able to just use a floor pump to get the bead to seat onto the wheel, which I think is a win. I didn't have to pull out the big air compressor to get these to mount. But what's it like to actually ride these tires? Well, I can tell you that my initial impressions are that the tire rolls very quickly and it is very smooth. I really like that super smooth center strip. There was about a month this summer where I rode the Crux exclusively with a set of 42mm Pathfinder Pro tires, and I really loved that center strip and the low rolling resistance that it offered. What was great is that when you were off that center strip and the tire started to roll, you had tons of grip on this particular setup. And the same concept applies here with these new turbo tires. Smooth center strip with grip on the outsides as the tire begins to roll side to side. You'll want to take a second and double check the recommended tire pressure chart for these particular tires. On the turbos, it's recommending that I ride them at 80 PSI. 80 PSI for a tubeless tire that's 30mm seems quite high for me. For reference, I was riding the GP5000 tubeless 28 at about 60 PSI, and when I was riding 32mm tubeless GP5000s, I was running them even lower. So I started at 70, and I've kind of been playing around with different tire pressures, and I think I'll land somewhere right around 65 PSI. It may also be worth noting that the recommended tire pressure on these tires may exceed the maximum tire pressure that your wheels recommend. I believe on my Zip 303Ss, the max tire pressure it recommends is 73 PSI. These tires are fast, they're supple, and they grip really well. At least that's what my initial impressions are. How puncture resistant are they? Well, only time will tell there. See, I've ridden about 7,000 miles this year, and knock on wood, I have not had one single flat. So my bar there is also pretty high. Specialized claims that this has an 8% increase in puncture protection, but let's just hope that's a little bit more than 8%. Is this a replacement for the Continental Grand Prix 5000 tubeless tire? So far, I have to say that of all the tires that I've tried, this is probably the strongest contender to the GP5000 tubeless tire. It's gonna take some time to figure out if they are as puncture resistant as the 5000 tubeless, but again, my initial impressions are that this is a very good tire. And in a few hundred miles, I will do a follow-up review video and let you know exactly what I think of these tires after I've gotten a chance to wear them in a little bit more. In upcoming videos, I'm gonna talk about my 3 favorite helmets and why I think they're the best road bike helmets available on the market today. And I'm gonna talk about my Enve Melee setup as a gravel bike and what that experience has been like thus far. Until next time,